Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake. Let's start with trying to solve a puzzle. Solving puzzles is a great way to keep your mind awake.
What's up, my fellow quirky people? Moon Knight's third episode arrived recently, and now I feel it's the right time to talk about the Ennead of 9 Egyptian gods in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Along with heroes and villains, this universe is literally filling up with gods. We've got the Asgardian gods of the Norse mythology. The MCU recently brought in Marvel's gods, which are the Celestials. Thor, Love and Thunder is finally going to introduce the Greek gods with Zeus. And then there's going to be Gore the God Butcher. He will take on at least 2 different factions of gods. It'll be interesting to see how Marvel weaves the Christian mythology into the MCU one day. But I hope the Hindu gods are never used here because any sign of wrong depiction could lead to riots. Even this dialogue was muted in Indian cinemas.
Glory to Hanuman.
Anyway, we're here to talk about the great Ennead of 9 Egyptian gods.
The Ennead, like a super group of Egyptian gods, you got HORUS, OSIRIS, TEFNUT.
Episode 3 gave us a great hint of these gods of Egypt. Oh no, not Gerard Butler and the guy from Game of Thrones. I'm talking about these guys and their avatars. We saw 5 of them, but let's look at the Egyptian mythology and the Marvel versions together. The starter of the Ennead was Atum. He is possibly the most powerful god in the entire Egyptian pantheon. His original name as an elder god was Atum, but later he took the aspect and the identity of Amun-Ra. He is god of the sun and the king of the gods. And he's also the creator of God and god of fertility. He ultimately left the Ennead to live in Earth's sun. If this would have happened in the MCU as well, and maybe if Icarus is not burnt to a crisp, then he could end up meeting Amun-Ra somewhere in the sun. In his absence, his 2 children continued the group. They are Shu and TEFNUT. Shu became the god of air. He took Ra's place when Ra left the Ennead, and his twin sister TEFNUT ruled at his side as goddess of the rain. We saw the avatar of TEFNUT in Moon Knight's 3rd episode. Shu and TEFNUT began the 4th generation of gods as they gave birth to Geb and Nut. Now Geb here is the god of the earth. He has a natural affinity for mountains and other parts of the earth's crust. Nut, on the other hand, is the goddess of heavens. Together, they had 4 children. One of them was Seth. He is the serpent god of death. He mated with Neith and fathered the gods of the underworld. Back in circa 2950 BCE, Seth appeared before a young slave named Ensa-Ba-Nur and spoke to him of a greater destiny. Because of that, Ensa-Ba-Nur later became Apocalypse. Then there's his sister and his wife, NEPHTHYS. She was the Egyptian goddess of night and the dead. She married Seth, but was actually impregnated by her other brother, Osiris. He is the benevolent god of dead and the eldest among the siblings that were birthed by Geb and Nut. When Geb stepped down from rulership, Osiris was chosen to succeed him. We saw his avatar seated amongst the Ennead members in Moon Knight's 3rd episode.
TEFNUT, OSIRIS.
As I mentioned, he impregnated NEPHTHYS and they gave birth to Anubis. Now keep in mind that Anubis is not a part of the Ennead, but his actions angered Seth, and he plotted revenge against Osiris. Anyway, Osiris actually married his sibling, Isis. She's divine, a goddess of sex and magic. Her avatar was also seen in the 3rd episode of Moon Knight. So far, we've covered 9 Egyptian gods of the Ennead, but since Atum, aka Amun-Ra, took an exit, the 9th god that was added into the mix was HORUS. He is the son of Osiris and Isis, and he ultimately became the new god of the sun. His avatar was the 4th one amongst the 5 gods of Egypt at the Pyramid of Giza as well.
Oh my days, we're inside. We're inside the Great Pyramid of Giza.
This completes the set of 9. But as you know, the MCU likes to make its changes. So they've replaced one of these Ennead gods with Hathor.
I'm Jatsil, avatar of Hathor,
Okay.
goddess of music and love.
She is the goddess of music and love, and she's also the goddess of sky. She mentioned that she and Khonshu were old friends.
Gods aren't really his favorite topic.
Not even when they are old friends.
Sorry.
This sits true with the Egyptian mythology, as Khonshu the moon god and Hathor the goddess of sky were actually lovers. Unlike the Asgardians, all these from the Ennead actually refer to themselves as gods. They all seem to be insanely powerful, but just like the Eternals, they've decided not to meddle with the affairs of mankind. They only use their avatars on Earth to observe. These gods left Earth as according to them. The humans stopped worshipping them. In the comics, all these Ennead gods traveled to another dimension called Celestial Heliopolis. They made their home over there, but in the MCU, this dimension is called Opulence of the Overvoid. Khonshu almost exposed all the Ennead gods by meddling with human affairs, so they banished him from his home.
The last time I spoke to the gods, they banished me. Our case against Arrow must be indisputable.
And after their recent warning, he tried to rewind the night sky back to what it was 2,000 years ago. So they all combined his powers and locked him in a stone statue. We believe that something similar could have happened with Emmett, and that's what ultimately led to their departure from Earth as well. As you know, after episodes 1 and 2, Emmett judges and devours the unworthy souls. She wanted to bring a golden age for all the noble people whom she judged to be worthy. Years ago, she did not side with the ideals of these other Ennead gods. So when she would have revolted against them, they would have locked her up. It is because of Emmett's actions that the humans would have lost their faith in the Ennead gods. So ultimately, all of them left this realm and started living in the opulence of the Overvoid. This was a gist of the Ennead gods of Egypt. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!